back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys, so I am here today to do my February wrap up, and in the month of February I actually managed to read quite a lot. I was quite surprised with how many books I got done, and I've nearly finished 2 other books as well, so let's get into this. So the first book that I ended up finishing in the month of February was Golden Sun, which is the second one in the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown, and I really enjoyed this. It took me a little while to get into, but generally I thought it was excellent, and I thought that the references to mythology and Latin were really interesting, as well as the world generally and the characters. So I did really enjoy this, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Next, in February, I picked up Retribution Falls, which is by Chris Wooding, and I loved this book so much. It was such a surprise for me because I've heard so many great things about it, but I didn't believe them and I was completely proved wrong. This book was utterly amazing. It's about a crew of pirates, just what they get up to in this steampunk world, and it's so much fun. I really enjoyed it, so this one got a 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I picked up Rise of Empire, which is the 3rd and 4th volumes in the Rieria Revelation series by Michael J. Sullivan, and I loved both of these. I gave them 4.5 out of 5 stars. So much fun. This whole series is a ton of fun, and I loved these books in particular. I definitely felt like they were a step up from the one before, so I would highly recommend this series if you've not read it. It's about the adventures of Hadrian and Royce, and they are so much fun. Next, I read Half a King, which is the first one in the Shattered Sea series by Joe Abercrombie, and I really enjoyed this, but it was not amazing. It wasn't unique in any way. It was just a very fun fantasy read. It was definitely had a YA feel to it, which wasn't a bad thing, but it wasn't as developed as I would have liked it to be, and so therefore I gave that one a 3 out of 5 stars. Then I picked up King of Thorns, which is the second one in the Broken Empire series. This is by Mark Lawrence, and I really enjoyed this. It was definitely a massive improvement on the first book, and I thought it was amazingly done. I gave it a 4.5 stars, really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to pick up the 3rd and final one in the series, so I know exactly what happens to all the characters because we had a lot of very exciting things take place in this book. Next, I read Heir of Novaron, which is book 5 and 6 in the Rieria Revelations, and this again is by Michael J. Sullivan, and this one I absolutely adored. It was amazing, so brilliantly written, so well connected, everything in it made perfect sense, and it just felt like wonderful. Such a wonderful read, and I would highly recommend this if you've not read it, and I of course gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars. Next, I picked up the single issue 25 of Saga, which is by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, and I picked this up because I've never read a single issue and I really wanted to know what was going to happen in this story, and I really enjoyed it. It was mostly kind of set up, so I haven't done a review for this just because it's only about 30 pages and it's not really worth doing a review on such a small amount of writing, but I did enjoy it. I definitely think it's going to be really interesting from now on, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read Changeless, which was a really interesting book. It's the second one in the Parasol Protectorate series, and it's definitely, again, a step up from the first. It was definitely more concise, the characters were much more developed, and it felt like it was just really entertaining, very hilarious and light-hearted, and I would definitely recommend it. I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars as well. Next, I read my surprise book of the month, which was Smiler's Fair, because I was not expecting to love this as much as I did. This is by Rebecca Levine, and it was sent to me for free by Hodescape. I loved it even so. It was absolutely amazing. Really great surprise. I did not anticipate loving it anywhere near as much as I did, and it was just so much fun to read. So I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really would recommend this, and I cannot wait for the sequel in this series to come out because I'm sure it's going to be amazing, and I will definitely be picking it up when it comes out. Next, I picked up Half the World, which is the second one in the Shattered Sea series, which is by Joe Abercrombie. This one was a better kind of layout of characters, and there was a lot more character development for me in this one, which I really enjoyed, but the story was still not amazing. It wasn't unique in any way. and unfortunately some of the surprise elements from the first book were not really carried over into the second book, so although I did like bits of it more, I also liked some bits less, and that meant it equaled out at, again, a 3-star read, but it was still really lighthearted and fun and easy to get through. Next I ended up reading Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, which is by Lewis Carroll, and I really loved this book when I was a young child, and I still love it to this day. I really enjoyed reading it, I really enjoyed revisiting the nonsense and bonkers world of Wonderland, and I will be putting up a review of this if it's not already out very soon, so do look out for that. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars and I would certainly recommend it. And then the final book that I ended up finishing in the month of February is The Magician King, which is the second book in the Magicians trilogy by Lev Grossman, and this one was a massive improvement on the first. The first one I only gave 2 stars to. I wasn't really a fan. There were good bits to it, but it was just really let down by the lack of character development. Whereas this book definitely gives us a lot more insight into the characters. It makes them more developed, they grow as people and characters. The storyline was really fun, so I would definitely recommend continuing on with this series, even though you maybe didn't love the first one, because for me, I really didn't like the first, but the second one was amazing, so I'm hoping the third one will be as well, and I gave the second one a 4 out of 5 stars. So now on to the few books that I'm still reading at the moment, and I'm actually reading 4 books at the moment, 2 of which I'm pretty close to finishing, and 2 of which I'm kind of halfway through. The first one I'm reading is Deadhouse Gates, which is by Steven Erikson. I am very close to finishing this one. I've got maybe 80 pages left, so I'll definitely be finishing this one up today, but I had to film the video now. This one will probably be in my March wrap-up. But I'm really excited about this. It's definitely one that took a long time to grow on me, and therefore that's why I took so long getting through it. But it's certainly more interesting at the end, and I've heard very promising things about the third one, which I'll be picking up in March. So I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this series. Next I have my other group read for the Sci-Fi and Fantasy read-alongs group that I host on Goodreads. I'll put the link down below. So Deadhouse and The Red Knight by Miles Cameron were the 2 books that we selected for February, and unfortunately they're the 2 books that I fell behind on due to reading so much other stuff and doing other buddy reads. But I'm really enjoying both of them, particularly The Red Knight is one that I'm loving so much, so I'm determined I'm going to finish this one up today. I've got maybe 300 pages left, so it's going to be a little bit of a push, but I really want to finish it very early in March, if not today. So I'm super excited about this. I'm loving it already. I've already bought the second one because it's amazing. So certainly I would recommend this book to you guys if you've not already picked it up. It's very involved, it's got a lot of characters, but the story is really interesting and there's a lot of mystery. So it's a really great fantasy read as far as I can tell. Next I am also about halfway through Shadow's Edge, which is the second one in the Night Angel trilogy by Brent Weeks. I am loving this book, loving this series. Just haven't had the time to finish this one up yet, but whenever I pick it up I really enjoy this book and this series. I think Brent Weeks' writing style is one that I instantly connect with and enjoy, so if you've not read this series I would definitely recommend this one as well. Unfortunately, I just haven't had the time to read these 3 books. It's not that I dislike them, I just need more time in my day, and February is a little bit shorter, so I didn't quite manage to finish them. But I love them all, and I'm really excited for them. And the final one that I'm currently reading is also Crossroads of Twilight, which is the 10th book in Wheel of Time. I'm listening to this on audiobook, and I'm really enjoying it. Even though a lot of people say it's not the best, I am enjoying it. I just haven't had the time to listen to it because I've been doing other things. Again, another one I hopefully will finish up very early in the month of March. Those are all of the books that I am currently reading and that I read in the month of February. Leave me your thoughts down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. If you've done a wrap up, then link that to me. I love to see them. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all very soon in another video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little